everybody, Gary Mean Brew Guy here. Today I am doing finally this New England IPA, but it's a dipped New England IPA. I'm calling it deuces because I'm putting 2 ounces of everything all the way through, including each hop through the dry hop. So when you look at the recipe, it's 2s all the way down. So I'm just calling it deuces. Yeah, so a dipped New England IPA. Who knows? I have no idea. We're gonna try it for the first time. All I know is that the 2 other beers that I've done dipped hops came out fantastic. So hopefully it applies in this situation. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna show the recipe now. We're going to be mashing in. Just got to get that manifold out of the way. Oh. As you saw in the video, I like to mix those flaked grains up a little bit, just because I just don't want them all in one spot and turning into this protein gelatin mass. I don't know if it really does happen, but I don't want to take that chance. Screw this in. Let's set it off to the side for now. Yes, because I have to stir the mash. Okay, so next I need to infuse the mash. So I'm going to do that using the Digitan. So now I just need to input into the Digitan the amount of water that the recipe calls for, and that is 31.33 liters. So let's get that in the Digitan and turn on the pump. I always got to think this through. I don't want to make any mistakes. And then hit the Digitan and off she goes. Okay, perfect. So today I'm going to be fermenting in the Firmzilla. I'm not going to be using the glycol because it's still being tied up for my Marzen. So therefore I'm going to be using a Juggernaut Kveik yeast blend, which will be fine in this Florida heat. In fact, it'll thrive. I've made my New England IPAs with Juggernaut before and it's turned out very well. So I'm okay with using that one. It's very viable yeast, very fresh. So underpitch it slightly as I normally do, and we should be fine. And this is also going to get the dipped hops as well. The one thing about Beersmith, and you'll see in the recipe there, you'll see Whirlpool at 10 minutes and you'll see Whirlpool at 20 minutes. The 20-minute additions are really the dipped hops. They'll be sitting in here for 20 minutes at 170, but the temperature will drop. I don't dare go any higher than that in here anyway. It is plastic, although it did withstand it the last time I did it with no issues. Yeah, so Beersmith doesn't have any way of delineating the dipped hops. It's not an option, so you have to put it under Whirlpool. You know, it's going to calculate like Whirlpool hops as far as IBUs are concerned, because the IBUs are going to be extracted. They're just going to be in that hop tea. So I would say those numbers are pretty accurate on the IBUs. With that being said, who knows? We'll find out at the end of this video when we're tasting the beer. All right, so I just wanted to talk about that. So I'll prep this here in a few, even though we haven't even started the mash yet. The Digitan said, I'm done. So let's stir this mash. All right, let's get the brewing salts in there. We continue to stir. There's no way I could, well, I've done it before. This is a big beer though, but I don't think there's any way I could have done a 10-gallon batch, because this thing is already at probably 3/4, well, 2/3 of the HLT, 2/3 of the mash tun rather. Good Lord. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, there we go. 9:45. Okay, let's switch into recirculating mode. 3 lights at the top means I'm in recirculating mode. Okay, I'm still moving some water over though. I'm waiting for that HLT to cool down. So once that's done, I'll turn on the recirculating and we'll be on our way.
I think you can see that.
All right, so I have 15 minutes left in the mash. It's a 75-minute mash. We've held at 150 rock solid throughout the mashing process. So now I'm going to shut the pump off and raise the temperature of the kettle. Fly sparge mode, 1 light, 2 lights. We're good to go. Now I need to change the Digiten, so I have to clear the old setting and then put in the new amount, which is 11.06 liters, and that's ready to go. All right, now I just gotta wait for the HLT to get up to 172 for sparge. Okay, dipped hops, 4 ounces, Galaxy and Eldorado. This it was inspired by the drop Nate experiment. I had forgotten about how much I love these 2 hops together. So I'm gonna dip these and see how it works out. So here we go in with the dipped. And then we're gonna move over and get all that in there. It's a tight squeeze. All right, then we're gonna move over 1.5. And I already put that in the Digiten, so 1.5 liters, here we go. Okay, that is done. So we'll seal that down. So we have 10 minutes left in the boil, plus I have a 10-minute whirlpool, and then we'll be cooling into here. That gives me a good 20 minutes in here with the dip topping before I move the wort over on top of it. So that was my thought process. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so I did flame out and I already purged the coil. In other words, I ran the coil without cooling it during the boil for the last few minutes to get all the air out and then boil off all that air. So I didn't throw any oxygen in the beer before it's time. So now we're whirlpooling and we're cooling. Now I need it to get down to 165. So when this gets to 170, I'll shut it off because it's a little slow. I found that if I shut it off at 165, by the time it actually settles in, it's down to 160. So I'll shut it off at 170. And hopefully I land in the right spot. So rather than running to shut the water off, I shut the pump off, then shut the water off. Okay. I'll just shut off the water. All right, I'll turn the pump back on for the whirlpool. That should take me down to 165. Here are the whirlpool hops. 165. Okay, here we go. Well, that changes a lot. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna put the lid on. And then we'll come back to when we're putting it in the fermenter. Okay, we have, let's see. Feels like there's pressure in here. Let's see if, yeah. There was pressure, not a lot. I could feel it on the plastic. Okay. Wow, that smells nice. All right, let's turn the pump on. Ooh, that's too much. Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. This is a fresh juggernaut I just did a couple weeks ago, restarted that. Okay. Make sure it's on the right one. It is. That's the pickup tube, so hopefully no mess that way. It's happened. Now I'm just gonna put the cover over it and we're done. Well, you saw the brew day, so let's get to the tasting. Okay, so the color, well, normally I do a 50-50 Golden Promise to Pilsner, but I didn't have enough Golden Promise, so it was more like a 60-40 split. But other than that, the grain bill is typically the same as my other New England IPAs. It is certainly cloudy. It's been in the keg just enough to have carbonation on it, so maybe 5 days. I don't force carbonate anything. I carbonate it under normal serving pressures. So I get coconut, vanilla, citrus. Very inviting. It's like a light citrus, almost like a pineapple, but big vanilla note with coconut. That's probably the biggest thing I'm getting off of there. Other than that, it's pretty much the same beer as I normally make here. Nice, smooth citrus. There's a slight difference in the dipped hop. I'm getting that citrus that you would get as if it was bright citrus, not ripe citrus. But you know, when you do a beer with bright citrus, sometimes it comes off a bit pithy. This does not. It has that bright citrus, but a round, smooth, non-pithiness to it, which is really strange to me because you would think if you left that much hop matter in the beer while fermenting, it would somehow come out super astringent. It is not. The color is absolutely beautiful. It's right on the money, on par with pretty much everything else. It is a big beer, as you see there in the recipe. Double IPA-ish, maybe even imperial. You don't taste any alcohol, zero alcohol. It's not too sweet, it's well balanced. It's a good beer. Is it my favorite one I've made so far? It's tied. It's tied with probably my favorite one. It's not quite as aromatic as I would have hoped, but the flavor that's what takes it home. So I suppose I could probably just dry hop a little more if I'm looking for more aroma there. And I would even consider removing the Whirlpool edition and just doing the dipped hop and then doubling down on dry hopping and see how that turns out. But the bitter charge I put in there is perfect. It's appropriate amount of bitterness, just a mild amount to offset any sweetness that's left behind. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of not competing flavors and aromas. They're sort of complementary flavors and aromas, but there's a lot of depth and layers in there, and it's really nice to drink. I'm really excited about this beer. Right now, I'm very excited about my entire lineup. That rarely happens. There's usually a dud in the mix, or one I'm not a fan of. I'm sort of just powering through the keg kind of thing. But all of the ones I have so far. I don't know how the Marzen has turned out yet, but it's still cold crashing. But so far, yeah, I'm really pleased with the outcomes of the beers that I have on tap at the moment. Got to get these canned up and get some out to you guys. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Yeah. Wow. Fantastic.